Welcome to the 5K5. I am Mark, and I am joined today by.
Caleb Martin.
Oh, yeah, he is new on the team,
Mhm.
and he has already had an insane impact to the team at 5K. For those of you who don't know him, do you want to introduce yourself, what you do, and then what is a fun fact about you?
Yeah. So I am a web dev on the 5K team. I've been doing web development since I was like 15 years old. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And my fun fact is just like Mark, I am a twin.
Wait,
Yeah.
you are?
You didn't know that?
Wait, what? I didn't know this.
What?
What the
I
heck?
thought we've had this conversation before.
We
Yeah.
probably have. Wait,
Yeah.
is it a dude?
It's a sister. I have a
Sister.
sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. You
Mark's
learn.
learning things today too.
Oh yeah, you learn something new every day. So okay, today we're gonna be talking about vibe coding, kind of what it is, what's the hype about it, and maybe some of the things that some of these people watching can do right away, that they didn't think they could do. So we'll get into it with the first question. When people say vibe coding, what are they actually doing, and what are they confusing it with?
Yeah. So the simplest thing or the simplest way to describe vibe coding is basically when you are prompting an AI to basically help you make a website or an app or anything that involves code, really. So a super simple thing would basically be to go into ChatGPT and say, "Hey, make me an app that does something, something, something," and it'll write some code for you. Now, that's a super basic example, and it won't give you a great output with that kind of prompt, but it's basically where you, as the AI dev, are basically just trying to steer the vibe of the website as opposed to actually writing the hard code yourself. So for like a super basic website, if I were to just code that by hand, that could take a couple of hours to make a single homepage that looks nice, that has nice content and everything. But if I'm vibe coding, I can just go into my AI of choice and basically just go, "Hey, I want to make a homepage for this website, and I want it to look like this. I want it to feel like this," and then boom, 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 it makes the whole thing for you. Now, probably the biggest misconception about vibe coding is that it is exclusively for beginners and people who don't know how to code, and that if you're vibe coding, you're kind of just being lazy and making a not very good product. I would say that's completely wrong. While even a beginner can vibe code, the best results are often gotten by experienced devs who know what they're doing because they can actually prompt it in a way to ask for specific things that a beginner wouldn't know how to do. So that could be asking for certain tech in your app or just anything like that, really, where if you know what you're talking about, you've actually done the hard coding before, you're able to get some really insane outputs from vibe coding. And that's what we've been doing at 5K here a bunch, just making insane things with a lot of vibe coding, just because we know what we're doing, and we've done the coding before, so we can actually give AI good prompts and it can make insane results really quick.
Yeah. So I heard this when the internet came out for the first time.
Mhm.
I wasn't alive, obviously,
Neither was I.
but I heard this story from my dad. He was alive. He was a real estate agent at the time, and he, everyone was freaking out when the internet came out. Oh, like realtors are going to be replaced by internet. Like nobody's going to need realtors because they can just look up the house and all that. And there was a sign that somebody put up in his real estate office that said, "Internet will not replace realtors. Realtors with internet will replace realtors."
Yeah.
And so that is very interesting, and it kind of goes along with your point where like web developers who know what they're doing, they know how to develop without the AI. They're going to completely outrun all of these developers who think that, oh, vibe coding is it's just for the people who don't know what they're doing, it's just for beginners, when in reality the people who are experienced in development and coding, and they're using the vibe coding and they're using AI, they're just going to run circles around everybody.
Yep.
And I just thought that was super interesting and kind of a connection there. But yeah, dude. So where does vibe coding genuinely work well, and where does it completely fall apart? Because I've been in situations where I've been vibe coding and it's just falling apart. But then
Mhm.
I've also been in situations where like I'm vibe coding and it's everything's going smoothly, it's going great. What would you say like what the difference is?
Yeah. So what it can do extremely, extremely well is basically anything that's been done before, it will know how to do extremely well because it has that entire background of everyone who's ever done that to fall back on for how to do certain things. So, like for example, just a generic business website, you can make that in like 5 minutes because it's been done millions of times, and it will do it really, really, really well. And even in more complex applications, it can do a really good job just because the internet and coding have been around for so long that it can basically learn how to make different things. Where I found it doesn't work as well is if there's a very specific bug in your code, specifically with certain packages that it's trying to update or something. You can basically say fix this bug 1,000 times in a row, and it's not going to fix it
Mhm.
just because it's not as good at that. And there's like super simple things that can be wrong with your code base where if you've done coding before, you can go into your code base and like, oh, I just need to change this number or like add a comma here or something like that, or I just need to change the name of this variable or something, and it'll fix it in like 2 seconds. But when you're in that like specific super niche small kind of bug, AI can just spend 20 minutes trying to figure that out, and that's where it's not as good. But I'll end up talking more about this later. That's where it can really shine when you have someone who knows what they're doing along with vibe coding,
Mhm.
because they can just see this error and be like, oh, I just need to update this package. I just need to add a semicolon here, and you don't waste your time with that.
Yeah.
But um, more and more as AI rapidly gets better, it is getting very, very good at just about all aspects of coding now.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's super crazy, dude. I mean, the stuff that you can do now
Mm-hmm.
is just mind-boggling
Yeah.
if you really dig deep into it.
Yeah.
So, if a small or solo founder wants to use vibe coding, responsibly, what rules or
Mm-hmm.
guidelines do you think that they should follow?
Sure. So this one more applies to the team. But if you have a team of vibe coders, basically, you want to have at least one person who's at least a mid tier dev or hopefully a senior tier dev, because you will get the best results if you have someone who really really knows what they're doing already without AI, because then when they use AI for coding, they'll know what they're doing, they'll know specifically what to ask for, and they'll be able to make way better things.
Hmm.
So if you have a team, having at least one person leading that team who really knows what they're doing and has been doing this for years without AI is going to be instrumental to making sure you're not just screwing everything up because you don't know what the code you're making is doing.
Yeah.
And the other big thing is don't put secret information in your code, and you
Hmm.
can very easily accidentally do that with AI. Like if you're asking it to make something with authentication and putting a certain password in or something, you can very easily accidentally put in a password or an API key or something,
Hmm.
just hard coded into your code that's now public and out there, and you don't even know that you put that API key in there, and then someone can go and rack up a bill for you. So
Yeah.
that's probably the most important thing, making sure you understand where to put secret information, basically. That's the biggest thing security wise. And also just making sure you have a senior dev on your team who knows what they're
Hmm.
doing. That way they can even instruct the people who don't know what they're doing as much. And those people who aren't as experienced can still output great websites and apps
Hmm.
because they have that senior dev who can kind of steer them in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. So, one more thing to finish up. That the person listening who is thinking like, oh, like I want to get into this, I want to start doing this vibe coding thing, I have all these ideas, these visions, and I want to just start building. What is your best advice for getting started?
My best advice for getting started would be first just download an IDE that can do that. The most popular one right now is Cursor. So just download Cursor and basically just start prompting it. Like just say, I want to build an app that makes estimates for my roofing business. Just start there and type that in, and then once you see the output, okay, I want this to match with my branding colors, so make it orange and blue. Okay, I want to add this specific feature to it. I want to add this specific feature to it, and just keep prompting and prompting and prompting, because the first prompt is never ever ever going to be exactly what you want. But as you continue to work with it, as you continue to tell your AI the vibe you're going for, it'll continually get better and better and better. And someone who doesn't know what they're doing can really just download Cursor, start prompting it, and make something really cool right away.
Heck yeah, dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb, thank you so much for joining me on today's 5K5. Listeners, thank you for listening, and join us for the next one. Peace out.